Have you ever stood before someone, heart pounding, trying to act calm, yet sensing something strange? As if her eyes were speaking in riddles, her silence louder than words, her every glance hiding a message too sacred to be spoken aloud. What if I told you there are signs, subtle and secret, buried beneath the surface of normal interactions that reveal when a woman is truly, madly, and almost mystically drawn to you? Here's the strange part. Most men never see it. They walk right past it, blind. Because these signals aren't shouted, they are whispered. They don't come in words, they come in energy. And unless you know how to read her silence, you'll miss the truth entirely. Pause right now and let this question linger in your soul. Have I already missed someone who was silently in love with me? Type that in the comments. You may be surprised who else shares that feeling. And if you've ever wanted to understand the deeper language of connection, the kind the ancient Stoics hinted at in their writings, the kind the world has forgotten, then like this video, not just for the algorithm, but because we're about to uncover something most people never will. In this video, I will reveal 2 hidden signs. Yes, just 2. But these aren't your typical relationship tips. These signs are buried in the timeless patterns of human behavior, encrypted through centuries of forgotten wisdom, and validated by the Stoic lens of observation and restraint. The second sign will shock you, not because it's outrageous, but because it's so quiet and ordinary. Yet it changes everything once you recognize it. We will travel through ancient philosophies, examine hidden teachings, and peel back the layers of human emotion until we reach the truth. And if you stay until the end, you'll not only learn how to notice these sacred signs, but how to respond with the strength, calm, and clarity of a true Stoic soul. This isn't about dating. It's about perception, about seeing what most overlook. It's about mastering that quiet inner awareness the Stoics held in such high regard, where every gesture, every pause, and every wordless stare speaks volumes. You're not here by accident. You are meant to hear this, and what you discover in the next few minutes may change the way you look at every interaction from now on. Ready to see what's been hidden in plain sight? Let's begin. Long before the world was cluttered with constant noise, there was silence, and in that silence, truth was heard more clearly. The ancient Stoics, seekers of nature's wisdom and masters of the human soul, believed that to truly understand someone was not to listen to what they said, but to observe how they existed. They spoke little of romance in the way we understand it today, but within their teachings are clues, subtle fragments of insight about connection, attention, and unspoken desire. In the dusty libraries of Alexandria, amidst scrolls written in forgotten tongues, philosophers debated the nature of attraction, not as lust or vanity, but as an alignment of energies. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, once remarked that the goal of life is to live in agreement with nature. But what if nature includes the hidden rhythms between 2 souls? What if the silent signs of love are as much a part of nature as the falling of rain or the rising of stars? It is said that Epictetus, a slave-turned-philosopher, observed more about human behavior in chains than most men do in freedom. He noticed how affection lives not in grand gestures, but in the micro-movements, how someone places their hand near yours, how they linger just a second too long in conversation, how their eyes betray a tenderness the tongue dares not voice. He taught that emotions must not rule us, but to ignore them entirely is to miss the poetry of life. In this balance lies wisdom. In ancient Rome, where power and politics consumed every moment, the Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations about how people reveal themselves not through declarations, but through presence. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, he wrote. And sometimes someone's presence around you, subtly brighter, slightly warmer, is the echo of a heart that dares not speak, but longs to be seen. But why have these signs become invisible to us? Why is modern man so unaware? Because we've forgotten how to be still. Because we've drowned in a culture of endless distractions and cheap signals, social media posts, artificial flirtation, overanalyzed dating tips. And in doing so, we've lost the ability to hear the sacred silence where real connection speaks. The Stoics trained themselves to perceive what others missed, not just in words, but in what was absent, in a woman's restraint, in her carefully guarded glances, in the way she listens to you when no one else does. There is something ancient being whispered. It echoes from older times, when love wasn't a game but a gravitational pull, when the heart recognized before the mind could name it. They believed that fate, logos, moves subtly, like water finding its path. If someone is drawn to you, her energy will bend around you like a river around a stone, but only if you're present enough to notice. So when we speak of these two hidden signs, she's crazy about you, we're not talking about surface behaviors. We're entering a sacred realm where attention is currency, silence is scripture, and every moment is laced with meaning. This knowledge has been buried, not because it was untrue, but because the modern world no longer honors the art of observation. The wisdom of the ancients whispers still, but only to those who choose to hear. And now, you are ready to listen. The first hidden sign that she's deeply drawn to you doesn't arrive with fanfare. It arrives in hesitation. It's the kind of hesitation that lingers in the air, quiet, soft, easily overlooked. You may notice her starting to say something, then pausing, laughing at something small, then quickly glancing away. Her words trail off when you enter the room. She seems slightly off rhythm when she speaks to you, not because she's nervous, but because she's present. To the untrained eye, it looks like awkwardness, but to the Stoic mind, trained to read the undercurrents of the soul, it is the clearest signal of emotional gravity. Seneca once wrote, "A man who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary." In the same way, a woman who feels before she understands will stumble in your presence. Her mind is still catching up with her heart. She will become uncharacteristically careful around you, measured, but not in a calculated way, in an instinctive one. That carefulness is reverence. It's the soul recognizing something sacred and not wanting to disturb it too quickly. You see, when someone is merely attracted to you, they are confident, direct, even a little bold. But when someone feels something deeper, they are humbled by it. They move more gently around you, as if they're afraid to break something that isn't fully built yet. This hesitation is not weakness, it's depth, and only the man who watches closely, with a calm and steady eye, will see it. But there's something even more mysterious. Sometimes she may become a little more distant, not less. The Stoics knew this paradox well, how the things we desire most often trigger restraint, not pursuit. A woman drawn to you on a soul level will create small spaces between you, not because she doesn't care, but because she cares too much. In these moments, your presence becomes overwhelming. She may reply slowly, avoid eye contact, or keep conversation surface level, but look deeper. Notice how her attention never leaves the room, how her energy lingers like a scent in the air long after she walks away. To the modern mind, this seems like disinterest, but the Stoics would remind us the truth is rarely loud. It does not demand your attention. It waits to be noticed. She may ask about your well-being in ways others don't. She remembers the smallest detail you once mentioned. She positions herself near you without speaking. These are not coincidences. These are brushstrokes in a hidden painting of affection. And yet, she may never confess it, not because she lacks courage, but because something deeper than words is already being exchanged. In the stillness, in the space between you. The Stoic mind remains unmoved by fantasies, but it does not ignore reality. It sees the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. And when you view her behavior through this lens, something astonishing happens. You stop chasing signs and start recognizing truths. So, remember this. The first hidden sign she's crazy about you is not something she says. It's how she silently struggles to maintain her usual self around you. How the natural rhythm of her being begins to bend, just slightly, when you are near. It is a sacred dance between fear and fascination. And now, the second sign, more shocking, more subtle, and even more ancient, awaits. Now we reach the second sign. It's the one no one talks about, the one hidden so deeply in plain sight that it feels invisible until it's not. She disagrees with you, not in anger, not with malice, but with passion, with intensity. Sometimes, even with a hint of frustration that seems out of proportion. This is the second hidden sign that she's crazy about you, and it's the one that confuses men the most. Because why would someone who feels drawn to you push back? The Stoics taught us not to accept things at face value. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." So what is this behavior, this strange push and pull, really about? Here's what most don't realize. When someone truly respects you, desires you, and is emotionally invested in how you see the world, they don't stay silent. They engage, they challenge, not to dismiss your view, but to be seen by you, to be recognized as an equal. A woman who is crazy about you will want her mind to be known, not just her presence felt. This kind of disagreement is sacred. It is the fire between two energies testing each other for resonance, and it is one of the oldest love languages known to humankind, the sacred argument. In the ancient dialogues of Plato, love often began not with agreement, but with debate. The mind was sharpened against another's, and through that friction, connection was forged. The Stoics respected such dialogues. They saw that when someone truly matters to us, we cannot remain neutral. We want to affect them. We want to be felt. We want to matter. So when she disagrees with you about an idea, a viewpoint, a minor detail, it's not rejection, it's intimacy. She is saying, "I see you, now see me." But there's more. If she's truly drawn to you, she'll want to make you better, not by molding you, but by offering reflection, a mirror. The Stoic philosopher Musonius Rufus believed that the highest form of love was mutual elevation, when two people sharpened each other's virtue. So if she pushes you to see things differently, challenges your assumptions, or even calls you out in subtle ways, it means you matter to her more than you know. What's shocking about this second sign is that it rarely feels romantic. It feels frustrating, confusing. You may even mistake it for conflict. But it is not conflict. It is communion, spoken in the language of iron and fire. There's something ancient in this dynamic. A woman who is emotionally entangled with you will not let you remain unconscious. She will disturb your peace, not out of cruelty, but to awaken a deeper awareness within you. This is not drama. This is awakening. And if you respond not with ego, but with presence, she will sense that, and she will reveal more. But if you shut it down, if you take offense, the window closes, and the ancient dance disappears into silence again. This second sign, then, is the paradox of affection. The one who stirs you, challenges you, even frustrates you at times, is often the one who feels you most deeply. It is hidden in friction, in the way she lights up when arguing a point, then softens the moment your eyes meet, in how she seems to care too much about what you think, what you believe, and who you're becoming. And here lies the Stoic wisdom. Don't be misled by surface emotion. Learn to feel what lies beneath, for in that passion, beneath her defiance, behind the way she fights for her opinion, lies something tender, something fierce, something ancient. A woman doesn't challenge a man she doesn't care about. She challenges the one she sees. You've seen the signs. Now do you understand them? Now that you've seen these hidden signs, the question becomes, what do you do with this knowledge? Because knowing is not enough. The Stoics did not seek wisdom merely to observe life. They sought it to live differently, to respond with intention rather than impulse, to stand still while the world around them moved in chaos. So when you notice these signs, the hesitation in her presence, the challenge in her disagreement, your task is not to react, but to anchor yourself. Your presence becomes your answer. Your calm becomes your language. First, resist the urge to analyze her. The Stoic path is not the path of obsession. It is the path of observation. Watch how she behaves, not to control the outcome, but to understand the reality. See her as a mirror, not a mystery to solve. Second, deepen your stillness. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." She is drawn to something in you that she cannot name, and often it is that quiet fire, your ability to hold space without rushing, to listen without fixing, to be without needing. That's rare, that's magnetic. So if you feel her pulling away after showing closeness, don't chase. Stay rooted, like a mountain, unshaken by the winds of confusion. Because in that steadiness, she will reveal something no words can provide: safety. And if she disagrees, don't defend, don't dominate. Instead, engage. Hear her. Not just the words, but what lies beneath them. Ask questions that open her soul, rather than shut down her voice. This does not make you passive. It makes you sovereign. This is not about becoming cold or distant. Stoicism is not the suppression of emotion. It is the refinement of response. You don't need to suppress your interest in her. You need to temper it, refine it, so that what you offer her is not hunger, but clarity. Here's a practice. The next time you're with her, slow your breathing. Notice where your thoughts go when she speaks. Are you listening to understand, or listening to respond? When she enters a room, are you reacting to her energy, or anchoring her in yours? Another exercise: write down what you observe in her behavior, not what you wish was true. Get brutally honest. What patterns emerge? Where does she lean in? Where does she pull back? What is unsaid but consistent? This will train your mind to see with Stoic clarity, not clouded by emotion, but sharpened by presence. And if you wish to cultivate that deep masculine presence that draws her in effortlessly, start by eliminating noise from your life. Fewer distractions, more intention. The Stoic man is not made in crowds, but in solitude. And it is in that solitude that your energy becomes magnetic. She will feel it, even if she doesn't understand it. She will respond to your calm, to your depth, to the way you remain yourself in every moment, without needing anything from her, yet fully appreciating everything she offers. This, too, is love, not the desperate pursuit, but the quiet recognition. You must also learn to endure uncertainty. The Stoics called this amor fati, the love of fate. Not all affection becomes relationship. Not every soul connection becomes a shared life. But if your awareness is awakened, you will grow from every encounter. Even unspoken love shapes us. So the real question becomes, can you love with open eyes? Can you feel deeply without losing yourself? Because when you can, she will feel it. And in that stillness, that sacred steadiness, the world shifts. This is how the ancient ones walked, not chasing, not withdrawing, just being, fully, powerfully, presently. Let her feel that version of you. And now we reach the final silence, the moment after all signs have been seen, all truths gently unveiled. You've heard the hidden signs, the quiet hesitation that reshapes her presence, the passionate disagreement that reveals her depth. You've seen how the soul speaks in gestures, in tension, in the spaces between words. And you've remembered what the Stoics taught, that wisdom is not to conquer others, but to conquer oneself. So what does all of this mean for you? It means that love, real love, does not scream, it whispers. It moves through unseen paths, like water beneath ice. And it takes a particular kind of man to feel it, to stay open without falling, to remain grounded without closing. This isn't about chasing validation. It's about recognizing the sacred when it enters your life and meeting it with stillness, strength, and truth. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." And that is your final invitation, to be brave in how you feel, but even braver in how you respond, to hold the weight of a woman's hidden affection without collapsing under it, to honor her mystery without demanding definition. Because if she truly feels something for you, it will not be wrapped in clarity. It will be wrapped in contradiction. One moment she is close, the next she's gone. One day she smiles with light in her eyes, the next she's unreadable. This is not confusion, it is sacred conflict, the soul caught between surrender and self-protection. The question is, can you hold space for that? Can you become the kind of man who doesn't need to be certain, because he is rooted in something deeper than control? The kind of man who listens, not only to her words, but to what her spirit is saying beneath them. If so, you won't need to wonder if she's crazy about you. You'll know, because she won't need to say it. Her entire being will tell you, in the way her energy changes around you, in how she remembers things you forgot, in how she resists and returns in the same breath, in the silence that feels like connection instead of absence. She is not withholding. She is afraid of being too much. She is not distant. She is waiting to feel safe. She is not confusing. She is revealing. And you are not just watching signs. You are being called into a deeper way of seeing. So now, I'll ask you, what would happen if you stopped analyzing and started observing? If you began living with the kind of quiet strength that doesn't demand love, but becomes love's natural home? Leave your answer in the comments. Let your words be the beginning of your next becoming. And if this message stirred something inside you, if it reminded you of something ancient, something sacred, something true, then let this be your way of saying, it matters. Like this video, not for the algorithm, but for the moment we just shared. And if you feel someone else needs to hear this, share it. Because these truths are not meant to be kept. They're meant to be remembered. Until next time, walk in stillness, speak with fire, and love with open eyes.